This is Down on the Farm, the 1245. We call it the live stream. Lots of you get to hear it on your local radio station, too, just to save ourselves time. But we appreciate you listening, whether you're on the live stream, whether you're on our Facebook page, whether you're on our website, or whether you're on your radio, in your tractor, your farm and ranch vehicle, or at your desk. Wherever you're at, we appreciate that. And, neighbor, while we're at it, let's just recognize one of those Farm and Ranch news affiliates within our region, KGID Giddings, 96.3. You folks listening on that station, thank you so very much. Let's take a look at ag weather, and we're going to track across down on the farm country from the west to the east, and then check north and deep south while we're at it. Let's go far west out toward Del Rio. Decreasing clouds today, 51 the high. Mostly clear tonight, 30. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 55. Neighbor San Antonio, partly sunny today. Tonight, mostly clear. Our high today, 48. Our low tonight, 30. And the high on a mostly sunny Tuesday, 53. Neighbor all the way over at LaGrange, mostly sunny today, 42 the high. Tonight, mostly cloudy, 27. And Tuesday, mostly sunny, 51. Neighbor, let's go up to Burnett. Mostly clouded today, high 41. Tonight, mostly cloudy, 25 the low. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high of 49. And neighbor, finally, let's go down toward the deeper portions of South Texas, down to Alice. Today, mostly sunny, high of 49, north wind 8 to 12. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 32. And Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of around 50. Neighbor, there's your ag weather. North, south, east, and west, and central portions of Down on the Farm country. Neighbors, here's a quick reminder from Down on the Farm and McCoy's. Do you need corral, panels, and gates? Well, your local McCoy's can help. The 10-foot Tough Mac corral panel, green with a chain connector for $79. How about the 10-foot Tough Mac walk-through corral gate, green with a chain connector, $145.99. For photos and specifications as well as design help, go to your local McCoy's store. For that location of the McCoy's store, go to mccoys.com. Neighbor, let's examine corn, beans, and wheat and cotton first thing this mid-morning. Higher trade out of the gates yesterday evening, and holding some of that strength into Monday is corn's MO this morning as traders get ready for the Super Bowl of USDA reports tomorrow. March corn traded back above the $5 level in the process. In beans, mostly stronger price action in the complex, although soybean oil has given up its strength early. After a brief correction in early December, March soybeans have added $2. As we look toward wheat buying Sunday evening has been given up overnight in the wheat markets, with all three exchanges posting small to moderate losses. As we look toward cotton, again, the market will see USDA's latest update on the supply-demand situation. Traders are anticipating a cut of at least 350,000 running bales off the 2020 crop. Such a revision would lower domestic carryout as well. Also, this week, the market will see weekly export sales reports. Traders hope to see improvements over the poor showing of only 70,000 running bales last week. Now let's examine a few of the facts that would influence live cattle and feeder cattle. Cash cattle trade remained 112 per hundredweight last week in most of the southern states. The dressed deals in the north, 176 to 177. The feeder cattle market price is the most vulnerable to higher feed prices, and that may be influenced this week. It's important to remember, even with the recent pullback in prices, the live cattle futures continue to hover around the top end of the recent trade range. And there is still underlying support in live cattle, even with the challenges of higher production costs and the pandemic. Box beef values have also shown light to moderate price gains over the last couple of trading sessions. In lean hogs, it looks like lean hog futures mixed price movement is helping to stabilize the market as the traders continue to focus not only on recent market moves following holiday activity, but also a gear up for what could be an exciting market shift as the traders look forward to another year of strong pork movement. McCoys.com, McCoy's Building Supply, still family owned, strong, growing, and relevant for our ag community. Farm and ranch panels and gates, field fencing, welded wire panels, barbed wire, and electric fencing. Shop online and find products and the store near you at McCoys.com. Neighbor, it's about time for Hop Sing to ring that lunch bell. Plenty of chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, lots of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad, and a trip up to San Saba. to talk to Ken Jordan, Jordan Cattle Auction. Well, in actuality, Ken is selling cattle in Mason today, so let's talk to Ken about the Saba Sale that's coming Thursday. Ken, we have some special opportunities to take advantage of, don't we?
Yes, we do have that special bull sale that's going to start an hour earlier, be at 10 o'clock. We got about 90 bulls. Take us about an hour and 15 minutes on those. We're featuring the Shady Oaks Ranch of their Charolais and Sim Angus bulls they've got. We also have several good Hereford bulls, some other Charolais that are there, some Angus, some Brangus, and some Bremmer bulls too. That'll all be there. And we got all those listed up on our website, Larry, already, and the information on them at jordancattle.com.
We appreciate it, and we will talk with you after the Mason sale. Ken, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. McCoys.com. McCoy's Building Supply. Still family-owned, strong, growing, and relevant for our ag community. With their own cattle ranches in West Texas, they understand the rural ag economy. Farm and ranch equipment from working chutes and sorting pens to cattle panels and gates, T-post fencing and barbed wire. Shop online and find the store near you at McCoys.com. Neighbor, when you hear cattle in the alleyway, it's time to head over to Lexington. Help Russell Heller get the last of the cattle that were sold on Saturday shipped out to their present locations. Russell, how'd that sale go?
Yes, sir. We had 988 total head with 174 cows.
Let's walk the pens.
Okay. Thinner packer cows brought 15 to 34. And the better ones 35 to 57. On the steering bull calves, 3 to 400 pounds, 110 to 195. 4 to 5 weights, $1.05 to 180. 5 to 6 weights, $1 to 150. 6 to 7 weights, 95 to 134. 7 to 8 weights, 90 to 123. On the heifers, 3 to 400 pound heifers, $1.05 to 155. 4 to 5 weights, $1 to 145. 5 to 6 weights, 95 to 135. 6 to 7 weights, 90 to 122. 7 to 8 weights, 85 to $1.12.
Good deal. What was the mood of the buyers and sellers?
Yes, sir. It was an active market, and everybody was wanting to buy a few cattle, it looked like.
What do you know for this next Saturday?
Yes, sir. One man's supposed to have around 30 or 35 Charolais crosses, and another one's going to have about 20 to 25 black calves.
And that'll be on the 16th at Lexington Livestock. Russell, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yes, sir. You can get me on my cell, and that number is 979-820-7002.
We appreciate you being on Down on the Farm. Thanks for your business.
Thank you, Larry.
Neighbor, I want to remind you about my friends Stephen and Terry Lehman at Lehman Pipe and Cattle. They've got used sucker rod in 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and 1 inch, and they've got used oil field pipe, the #1 structural, straight, no holes, splits, or heavy scale, 2 3/8, 2 7/8, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6 5/8, 7 5/8, 10 3/4, in 16 and 24-inch diameters. Also, from time to time, they see some #2 pipe available at a reduced price. Truckload discounts and delivery also available. They also have cattle guards. They make them from 10-foot wide to 30-foot wide, depending on the customer's needs and wants, with or without wings or cross gates. Also, the heavy-duty concrete beams to set them on. Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Email them at lehmanpipe@gmail.com or call Stephen at 979-966-3447 or Terry at 979-820-8155. That's Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of Texas News and Views. Jessica Dommel speaks with a person in the know about USDA's investigations into the big spread that we saw prior to COVID between fat cattle prices and the boxed beef value. Jessica's report after this.
You're looking for soybeans that give you the yield you want. But when it comes to fighting your toughest weeds, you also need flexibility. Introducing Extend Flex soybeans. Elite genetics with triple tolerance to dicamba, glyphosate, and glufosinate. The yield you want, the choice you need. Learn more at extendflexsoy.com. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing, and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
We're joined today by Chelsea Good. She is Vice President of Government and Industry Affairs for the Livestock Marketing Association.
So there's actually 2 separate investigations that are ongoing. The first one started even prior to COVID, after we saw that Holcomb-Tyson fire. USDA opened an investigation to take a look at that pricing spread, the difference in what feedlots are being paid for fed cattle and a really high box beef price. We saw a record spread there. That actually expanded to also include new records that were set in COVID-19. As far as the USDA investigation, we have seen a report back from USDA, and that report really looks at some of the economic issues that USDA believes kind of fed into that historic spread. Not only are we kind of in a part in the cattle cycle where we've got lots of cattle and less hook space, so we're a little vulnerable to things like this already, and then we have those two black swan events. The USDA report said that they didn't find any wrongdoing. They continue to look for wrongdoing, but really they kind of pointed towards, maybe there are some things that the cattle industry should be looking at to help improve leverage. Things like trying to bring on more smaller regional packers just to get some more competition there and change that leverage environment. USDA also really encouraged increased risk management for producers, and that could take a variety of forms. There is a Department of Justice investigation that is ongoing as well. We have not seen a report out from the DOJ, and that investigation is a little bit different in terms of what they can look at from a jurisdictional standpoint.
Good says there are several things that could happen if the investigations find some sort of wrongdoing.
You can take a look at some things going on in the poultry space right now just to see that there are some pretty huge fines that could be levied. And certainly the DOJ has a lot of teeth if they find wrongdoing. The one thing I will mention just as an attorney is that the bar for finding wrongdoing from a Department of Justice standpoint of violation of the Sherman Act is a pretty high bar. It requires showing some level of coordination between competitors, whether that's price fixing or a handful of other Sherman Act violations. It requires showing that those competitors coordinated with one another. And I think that is a little bit different than just showing that, hey, there are record profits and a huge spread between what's being paid for cattle and what packers are being paid for meat. You have to show that coordination component in order to see the Department of Justice move forward with a case.
That was Chelsea Good with the Livestock Marketing Association. We'll have more with her on this on the next Prime Cuts. By the way, starting next week, Prime Cuts will air right here, but a day earlier. Be sure to mark your calendar so you don't miss out.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
After my first car accident, I feared the biggest damage would be to my wallet. I expected a mountain of bills and a long, drawn-out process. But my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent was there when I needed her and helped me get back on my feet and in my car in no time. Instead of a hassle, I got reassurance and a quick recovery.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an agent who's there when you need them most. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor, when you hear my head cowboy Eddie Arnold calling the cattle back to the house for a big old bale of hay, some cubes, and a cold drink of water, it's time to talk to Kenny Mingus from Milam County Livestock Auction, Texas, where I think all of the water troughs are cold today. They'll be warming up, but Kenny, you got some snow, I hear.
We did. We are covered in white, Larry, and just something that you don't see here in Central Texas for sure. And got a heck of a snow. I guess anywhere from 4 or 5 inches up to 6 or 7 in spots.
I guess y'all will count most of that moisture as good, right?
I would say it'd be good, yes, sir. I always heard of snow makes grass, so we'll see.
Yep, it sure does. Makes that ground fluffy also.
Yes, sir. It'll sure make it nasty for a while.
Yeah. How did the sale go?
It went good. You know, we had our new start time at 11 with the Packer cows, and everything seemed to work real good. And we had a total of about 1,820 cattle altogether.
Good. Let's walk the pens.
We'll start with the steers under 300, 144 to 185. 3 to 400 pound steers, 139 to 192. 4 to 500 pound steers 117 to 187.5, and over 580 to $1.62. On heifer cattle under 300, 136 to $2. 3 to 400 pound heifers 118 to 172. 4 to 500 pound heifers $1 to $1.58, and over 570 to $1.32. Packer cows about steady from 20 to 58. Packer bulls 60 to 86. Had a few pretty good bred cows scattered through this same from 300 to 1275, and on the pairs from 550 to 1500.
What will the moisture that you've gotten do for the sale this Friday?
I don't know. It's supposed to be pretty all week, but it's going to be colder, than we've had this year. I think there'll be a few people kind of slip around and get a few, but I don't think that we'll have what we had, this last week. Don't have much on the books right now, but it's early in the week, and everybody's mainly just worried about trying to keep everything alive right now.
I understand. Well, y'all get them fed, and if you can get them into the auction, get them up to Kenny Mingus at Milam County Livestock Auction. Cameron, Kenny, tell everybody how to contact you.
You bet. Just catch us at the office Monday through Wednesday at 254-697-6697. You can follow us on our webpage at milamcountylivestockauction.com or catch us on Facebook. We're at the office Monday through Wednesday from about 9 to 3. We're able to receive cattle starting Thursday a.m. at 8, 7 a.m. on Fridays. Don't forget our sale starts at 11 with the Packer cows and move right into our normal order after that.
We appreciate you, Kenny. Thank you a bunch.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Neighbor bureaucrats who never set foot on a ranch want to tell you how to use your land, your water, and more. If these activists succeed, your entire way of life will be at risk. That's why the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association works in Washington, D.C. and in Austin to fight for the rights of ranching families every day. But we can't do it by ourselves. Join the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers and help provide a united voice for cattlemen everywhere. For more information, call 800-242-7820 or go to www.tscra.org. Neighbor, many farmers realize while adoption of most soil conservation practices or measures is on the rise nationwide, the implementation of the majority of those principal crop acres isn't even close. Research by Iowa State University's Extension Office focuses on improving the environmental and social performances of an ag system. The research often focuses on talking about the benefits of a cover crop and soil health practices, when in actuality, they ought to speak more to the importance about the risk to soils if we don't utilize the practices. Research shows that farmers understand the benefits, but those perceived risks oftentimes keep farmers from giving the practice a try. Neighbor, when we think about the data, cover crops, conservation tillage, and no-till, and extended crop rotations, among other measures, build resistant soils. Collectively, the practices mitigate soil erosion and nutritional loss, and they improve the structure and organic matter, and they also increase water filtration and holding capacity and reduce compaction. And the realization of those benefits have helped American farmers have increased crop cover acreage by about 50% between 2012 and 2017. No-till acres, nearly 150 million in 2017, up about 8 million from 2012. But neighbor, there are barriers. Farmers have perceived risk that inhibit wide-scale adoption of soil health practices such as cover crops, no-till, or conservation tillage, based on reviews of soil science research on the subject. A few of those obstacles include yield loss to the principal crop, moisture worries, cover crops may use too much water to begin with, a lack of time, either not getting the cover crop planted or terminated in a timely manner or getting field work completed, weed issues, the cost of the program, a lack of confidence in the ability to manage the new practice, or a lack of sufficient cost share help and support from the landowner. The take-home seems to be that we need to do a better job of balancing our messaging around both the perceived risks and benefits of conservation practices and how to manage that risk. If we just go out and say how great everything is and then something fails, it doesn't give much credibility to the person giving the advice or the farmer as he takes it. Neighbor, let's check those commodities of ag interest as close to this time frame as we can get. March corn, 493.5, down 2 3/4. March beans, 1362 3/4, down 12. March Kansas City hard red winter wheat down a half at 594 1/4. March number 2 cotton down 42 at 79.38. February live cattle down 102, 113.45. March feeder cattle down 7.5, 136.75. February lean hogs down 2.5 at 68.67. March U.S. dollar index up 497 points at 90.46. Your West Texas Intermediate crude February contract down 23 at 52.01. Neighbor, there's your Commodities of Ag Interest. Neighbor, let's take a look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle. Call 800-288-4453. Number 2 or better Milo through Corpus in January. March plus 240, 13.15. Houston, same price. Progresso, 11.50. Number 2 or better yellow corn through Corpus in January. March plus 45, 541 and a quarter. We'll call Progresso 10.20 by the hundredweight. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in January, February delivery, March plus 70, 664 and 3/4. We'll call Houston 689 and 3/4. Houston beans, January delivery, March plus a dime, 1384 and 3/4. Placido, March less 60, 1314 and 3/4. 1,254 bale of East Texas cotton, 3,886 bale of West Texas cotton sold, 51.40 across the state. Average price for that cotton, $76.22. Neighbor, I'm Larry Marble. That's it for today's edition of our program. Thanks for listening. We'll be back, same farm time, same farm channel, right here at the kitchen table tomorrow.